How's it going, Sagittarius community? Soul Tigress here with a story for this wonderful, stupendous, smart community. Now, I'm not sure what's going to unfold in the community, in the story today with this community, but there's a big sense of let's get it done. Let's do it, eh? That's what I'm feeling. So that's always a great thing. Is Sagittarius's passions leading the way? Well, they, them, sisters, brothers. Let's find out. So let's start off with some unicorn oracle. Ancestors and spirit guides, what is it that you would like to come out in this story for the Sagittarius? For the Sagittarius. Passion. Do what excites you. Get fired up about your life. Increase your energy levels. How do you increase your energy levels when you're tired, though? Because that can be hard sometimes. I would say if you have to have a little bit of something to help, moderation. When I say something, maybe it's a decaf coffee. If you're sensitive to caffeine, that's if you can drink caffeine. If not, it's definitely something you can use as a tool to help boost your energy. I always talk about with my clients, if you set goals, have a reward at the end of your goal, something for you to work towards. Something else that's coming out for the Sagittarius community is patience. Patience. Pause before you take action. Trust the divine timing is at work. Be patient and play whilst you wait. So on one hand, we have one card saying, take off. With a passionate drive, but on the other hand, we have patience. And in between, there is imagination. Envision a new reality. Give yourself permission to dream. Believe in unlimited possibilities. Then we have balance. Take time to relax. Indulge a little more or a little less. Set boundaries with your work. Now that makes sense on how patience is on one side and how passion is on the other. Using the imagination to drive the passion, but also creating balance with having patience. Patience is a superpower nowadays, especially in a world where everything is at our fingertips within minutes. All right, anything else want to come out? Anything else want to come out for the Sagittarius community? And this one falls at passion, and this is going to be nature. And with this is ground yourself, find a sanctuary in nature, connect with the elements. Sagittarius, the mythology of Sagittarius, is one of a centaur or centaurs, and they are at one with nature. They help take care of nature. They are keepers of nature. Is this where the passion needs to lead back into, or is this going to help for this Sagittarius bring the passion out? All right, one more card want to come out? One more card. There it is. Last card. Polarity. Integrate your shadow side. There can be no light without dark. Understand the law of polarity. And this is going to sit on the side of patience and balance. Whichever passionate direction that you want to go in, what's being said is everybody has a dark and a light side to them. Everybody has made mistakes. Coming to that for this Sagittarius within self can help bring balance. But the Sagittarius in this story is going to have to sit in patience to understand that. And visualize where they want to be. Rounding out in that direction that they want to head in with their passion. Wow, this is already starting off so well. All right. Let's see what the tarots want to bring into the story for the present moment. I feel like the oracles, when I start off with oracle cards, I feel like it definitely sets the mood. It sets the mood. Then we get into the tarots, and that definitely gets to the climax, and then we work on the block here. So what is it that wants to come out? Spirit guides and ancestor, what wants to come out for the Sagittarius community? And this is Temperance that lands in side position. And it goes towards polarity and goes right under it. And if you look at this card and this Temperance, there's two of them. You have one with light wings, you have one with dark wings. Seeing the polarity. Knowing that your shadow side is a part of you too, and that's okay. It's okay to not have the greatest shadow side, because that shadow side can get worked on. One of the things I used to say a long time ago, it was definitely a side that needs the most love and it needs the most patience. And as we're talking about the shadow side, we have the moon coming out, and it's a little turned. And it's not turned up in a good way. It's turned in a direction where it's getting ready to start in a cycle of going into reverse. Going into a direction that is not one that is appeasing for this Sagittarius in this story. What else wants to come out about the present for Sagittarius? There we go. King of Coins. Does this have to do with a utopia that you were promised? a stability that you were promised, or maybe it's a stability that you thought should have been there. And as I say that, that's when we get a Tower that comes out, and then I have the King of Cups that comes out. And these fall to on their own. So what this is telling me is right now in the mind of this Sagittarius, the emotions are not being kind to this Sagittarius. And it's because they didn't get the utopia that they felt like they deserved. I feel like it's an outcome. It's a particular outcome. Because I'm looking at this tower, and I'm looking that it was built. This tower has been maintained over the years. You have shooting stars behind it. This isn't a tower that's being struck by anything. But again, it's in the side position. What it would be to me is if I worked on something for so long, then it should be almost at its best, depending on how much work I put into it. But some people think that if you just throw something at it, it should magically work. And sometimes it's not the case. And it has to do with a big entanglement in the emotions. Almost like whatever it is, whatever has this Sagittarius unbalanced, ungrounded, is because it's something that came in, and what I'm getting a sense is it coiled around them and like bit off their head. It's a bit graphic. I do apologize. But that's the sense that I'm getting. It was whatever this Tower and this King of Cups about situation. It's one where there wasn't a choice. There wasn't a choice. I feel like it was just swift, it was coming, and it took what it wanted. I feel like this Sagittarius really, they look away from the emotions on this. This Sagittarius is not processing the emotions around this. And as I get that, I have a Four of Cups that falls out into reverse. So it's something that's definitely draining of the cups, where this person is dancing. An opposite version, this person would be stuck. Is it stuck because there's overthinking? Is there stuck because somebody won't process? For this particular Sagittarius, we get a Queen of Cups in side position. And then I get a Queen of Coins on the opposite side position. And they're really looking at each other. I'm feeling like it's a cycle. It's a cycle between wanting to be stable, be mature, but then the emotions come in and they kind of just spill out everything everywhere. and no more movements being made because of that. And this is a vicious cycle between the stability within self and the emotions within self. Anything else want to come out for the present? Anything else want to? And then I have the Nine of Swords. Oh, Saggies. This feels like something that is inescapable. Inescapable. Like, even if you ran the fastest, it wouldn't be fast enough. Even if you flew the highest, it wouldn't be high enough. And that's the emotions I'm picking up from this cycle. From the cycle between the stability and the emotions. Anything else want to come out for the present? Ten of Swords in reverse. Or this person would be falling away or falling onto the swords. This one would depict falling away. But I'm feeling like whether it's you falling onto your thoughts or your thoughts coming in and falling onto you, it's something that this Sagittarius has a hard time escaping out of the mind. About it, it's the thoughts, the emotions, being hung up. Being hung up, and I'm hearing what's mine and what is mine. Well, what is yours? What is yours, Sagittarius? What is yours? What came in from this situation and grabs you up and just bam, it got you? What grabs you up that made you feel like you didn't have a choice? Because that's where the Sagittarius has to start from the beginning. Not looking away anymore. Because this moon all day is looking away from it. I don't want to deal with it. I don't want to talk about it. What I can tell this Sagittarius is when we block ourselves off, we put ourselves on our own little island, then we feel like we are the only ones going through it. And I mention that because then when we start to feel like we're the only ones going through it, then everyone else outside of ourselves we have put on a pedestal, deeming those people at so much of a higher level and our level always being low. That's degrading yourself. That's taking away from your value. When the truth is, every household, every workplace has had their share of situations. And don't ever feel like you're the only one. You're the only one, because that's not the case. It is definitely not the case. But I have a feeling this Sagittarius really feels like they're the only one going through it right now. Alright, what wants to come out for the block? What is it that wants to come out for the Sagittarius block? The Emperor in reverse. And he fell directly onto the Six of Cups. All right. So with the with the Emperor in reverse on top of the Six of Cups, I feel like that is Sagittarius feeling like they're the odd man out. They're the odd man out to when it comes to having that balance that they seek with the people around them. Anything else want to come out for the block for this Sagittarius in this story? Oh, this is interesting. The second pair of cards to fall, have one fall into the other. I have the Ten of Cups. I don't know what this one is, so I'm just going to show you. The Queen of Wands. I feel like Sagittarius, this Sagittarius is looking at themselves in such a way. They don't believe a Ten of Cups outcome and a Six of Cups outcome. They don't believe that that harmonious and the ideal outcome where the emotions are filled. You're in a loving relationship. You're in a lovely or in a loving commitments is possible for them. Why don't they think it's possible for them? What else wants to come out about the block? So this one, I don't know if you see it, but it actually came out when it initially came out in reverse, and then it turned itself to upright. And it lands on the Queen of Coins. And as it lands on the Queen of Coins, it's looking at the Ten of Swords in reverse. And it's looking back at the block as well. And it has to do with either the Sagittarius falling onto very sharp negative thoughts that they're used to thinking, or these negative thoughts always seem to catch back up with them, always seem to be chasing them, always seems to be right there with them. What I can suggest to this Sagittarius in this story is you gotta unstick yourself from being alone. You gotta unstick yourself from feeling like you are alone. Because that's what I feel like in this. Especially if a person's at odds ends with themselves. I believe I said this earlier when the Tower came out. But if they're at odds ends with themselves, then they're going to be at odds ends with their environment. Even though they're operating in it, they're still going to feel like that internally. And it's just going to be at odds ends with everything. But the whole thing is this Sagittarius has a choice. And they're not seeing that they have a choice. They have a choice. They could definitely turn some stuff around. But it's coming out of being by themselves. Sagittariuses are naturally community type people. I would say Sagittarius is one of those signs. Don't stick them by themselves. Don't isolate them. They like being around people. They like being around not just people, but their community. And as I talk about this, I have a King of Swords that comes out in reverse. Could it be a swiftness within the community? Let me get a clarification card, because I don't want to go off into a detour and it not be fully coming out the correct way. There it is, that clarification. And that lands on the Emperor in reverse. The Ace of Cups in reverse also lands on the King of Swords, which I put onto the Ten of Swords. So I feel like a part of the block is some of the deflect. I say deflect. I feel like it's not defense. I feel like it's deflecting energy when it's in reverse like this for this Sagittarius. Deflecting any and everything that comes their way. When we're in a deflecting everything and anything that comes our way, Sagittarius, in this story, is you're gonna block good things. And that's because you're too busy blocking everything, especially your ideal outcomes. Your ideal outcomes, which also you could be blocking your passion. That passionate drive, you know, that makes you that all in type of person. Or have you put, and you're all in, but it's in a direction that takes from you mentally, emotionally. Anything else that wants to come out for the block for the Sagittarius community? Anything else that wants to come out? The biggest question that you don't know how to do is how to go off into this direction. Into a new direction. How do I stop deflecting everything? Well, for this Sagittarius, I would ask what has you in the shoes that you're in? And I say it that way because as we go through the years, our styles can usually evolve. So at this time, I would ask, what has you wearing the type of shoes that you're wearing now? What is it? And it has to do with this utopia. Not feeling like you got the utopia outcome in the present situation. It's reflecting on that. And then abundance. Yeah, abundance pops out. Abundance, and it lands on the King of Coins, and it lands on the King of Swords. I feel like one of the greatest messages today has been gratefulness. What is the abundance that you do have now? What is that abundance? Is everything really that bad? What is the abundance? What are some things that we can be grateful for? Omens. Keep an eye out. Keep an eye out, because when omens pops out, that's your spirit guides telling you, we're here. We are here. We are next to you. We are riding with you every day. We are riding with you every day. It's time to get that sacred space right. It's time to get that sacred space right. When you get that sacred space right in yourself, your flame is going to burn. I feel like that one, sacred space, is ancestors reaching out, and they're telling you that. Your guides are telling you you're not alone. You're not alone. Can't make this up. The duality. Polarity, and then you had the temperance with 2 angels on it. Whatever this situation has, or whatever this situation is that has you feeling like you never reached that utopia, there is a powerful lesson in that for this Sagittarius. Remember Sagittarius, sage, philosophers, smart, very smart. If you can think of a situation 20 million different ways, and you can think of how it's bad in those 20 million, or think of yourself on how bad you are in those 20 million different ways, imagine what it would be like to think of yourself in the great notes 20 million different ways. Try it. For every bad thought that comes in, give yourself a good thought. Give yourself a compliment. Because that's what this is. This is a battle between those two. It's a battle in the thoughts. Because when the thoughts come in, then they take you down. Here comes the emotions. Take a look. Your signs, your spirit guides are there. The omens are around you. Be open to them. Know that you do have abundance. Right now, even though you could be acting swiftly, even though you feel like your stability isn't where you want it to be, there is still abundance. What is it that you can be grateful for right now? What is it? If somebody's battling with a major medical health condition, please don't get offended, but what I can tell you is this: living in this day and age sure beats living 200 years ago with that same condition, where there wouldn't be medicine, or not as great a medicine, where there wasn't as much support, where there wasn't as much information. So one thing to be grateful is to live in this day and age. Another thing to be grateful for is to have the type of hygiene that we have. I'm grateful for that every day because I'm not wiping my butt with straw. So yes, there are little things that you can be grateful for. You're stuck in a hard situation with somebody, a situation that isn't the greatest. Be grateful that this is a moment in time. This is a moment in time, and that right now it's a time to build, it's a time to learn. But once this moment in time is done, you are going to be so much more. And sometimes these rough moments and times are to help us to clear up our sacred space within self. Anything else want to come out for the Sagittarius community? Anything else want to come out? There it is. Oh. Burden. What I'm reflecting on is that this is an ant in this picture of the burden. And I'm drawn to the number 10. Not to divide it down, but the number itself. The number itself reminds me of a team. When I think of ants, and I'm sure when a lot of people think of ants, we just don't think of a ant. We think of many. Where I'm getting at with this is, if one ant is not able to carry the burden on their own, what does this ant do? Well, it uses its tools. It's going to try and cut that burden down and take it in smaller pieces. Or the ant enlists its community, its team members, to help with this burden. Sagittarius, is it time to take off the armor a little, to show up a little vulnerable, and to lean on somebody? It's okay. Showing up every day strong and tough is a wonderful thing to do. Wonderful thing to do. But letting yourself be vulnerable, letting yourself be open to the support that you have around you could mean so much more. All right, Sagittarius community. They, them, brothers, sisters. Woo! This was a big one. Very big one. I hope y'all enjoyed this story. I hope that all the positive messages that needed to be received were received.